From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story on July 3rd at 9:15 p.m. Alaska State Troopers received a report of a man and woman missing from a campsite located near mile 79 of the Denali Highway. That's
right. Troopers responded and found a vehicle and camp trailer and evidence of an altercation involving gunfire. The Alaska Bureau of Investigation responded and assumed responsibility of the case. An extensive search involving trooper aircraft and wilderness search and rescue volunteers was started. Now, Sunday afternoon at about 4 p.m., troopers heard noises coming from a dilapidated trailer in the area and found evidence outside associated with that missing couple. Trooper spokeswoman Beth Ibsen said when they tried to communicate with whoever was in the trailer, there was no response, so tactical teams were called in.
There was enough evidence that they found at the campsite where this pair went missing and there at the trailer that they figured there's something suspicious about it. The special emergency reaction team eventually they entered the trailer and unfortunately found a man and woman deceased inside. Investigators are working on positively identifying the pair, and meanwhile the investigation is continuing.
It is official. The fire season this year is the 9th largest on record for the state of Alaska. Fire officials say the numbers could get larger as the season progresses. Alaska wildfires also surpassed 3 million acres burned today. The main record holder of the largest wildfire season was in 2004 with over 6 million acres burned. Over the July 4th weekend, firefighters saw increased activity in the Galena area and the interior. Red flag warnings in Delta and South Central Alaska are reporting high winds that are exciting blazes there. Smoke advisories are also in effect west of the interior. Alaska Interagency Coordination Center spokesman Cale Casey says fire crews have a busy week ahead of themselves.
This is the kind of day that really tests the fire line. The moistures of the weekend have dried up in the 3 days of sunshine, and we could see other fires grow exponentially today. Now there's moisture coming in right behind it. So Tuesday and Wednesday should look better for firefighters. But today is a very dynamic day with fire growth possible all throughout the interior, the Tanana area, and the Galena zone.
Today at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, hundreds gathered to celebrate a major marker in the university's history. University officials rededicated the original cornerstone marking of UAF's 100-year history. On July 4th, 1915, a cornerstone was placed on the bluff that would eventually become UAF. It remained on display until it was moved for protection when construction began on the new engineering building. Today, university officials and Alaska Native leaders gathered to Trothyetta Park to bless the grounds of the future Indigenous Studies Center. Following the blessing, drummers then led a procession down the Yukon Drive where the cornerstone rededication ceremony actually took place. Trothyetta Legacy Initiative co-chairman Miranda Wright says today marks a bright future for the next 100 years at the university.
The Canada chiefs had met with Judge Wickersham about land issues. As the meeting went on, they started talking about the larger issues about education and communications between the government and the Indigenous community. So today is kind of, 100 years later, we have these wonderful communications and relationships built with the government and with our university and educational systems, and so it's just kind of bringing all of that together.
All right, well, when we come back, of course, we're going to have a recap of all the 4th of July events, including what happened at Pioneer Park.
That's right, also in North Pole and Esther as well, and you got sunburned over the weekend.
I sure did, but we got second in our tournament, so
Softball
hey.
tournament, congratulations. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. Fairbanks City Councilman David Pruse is introducing an ordinance to levy a 5% tax on all retail sales of marijuana within city limits. The ordinance is before the council for a first reading at tonight's regular meeting. If advanced, the council will hold a public hearing and vote on the ordinance on July 20th. The sales tax would then go to Fairbanks voters to approve during this fall's city election. If passed by the voters, marijuana sellers would have to register with the city and file monthly returns. The returns would include all sales within the city, the amount received from the sales, the amount of taxes, and the taxes collected. Prue says the tax follows the spirit of ballot measure 2 in terms of creating revenue and treating marijuana like alcohol. The sales tax would be 1% less than the city collects on alcohol or cigarette sales.
I wanted it minimal. I just wanted it minimal. The sales tax for alcohol and cigarettes in the city limits is 6%. I view this as revenue that was uncharted, not accounted for, so let's try and keep it minimal. Also, we're not taxing the growing, we are not taxing the distributing. The only thing we're doing is putting a 5% on retail sales, which is the minimum.
Hundreds of people came to see the annual Independence Day celebration at Pioneer Park. Reporter Ryan Grimes was there. He has the story.
All-American music from the U.S. Army Alaska 9th Army Band kicked off the celebration. Several Independence Day celebrators did their part by donning patriotic clothing in honor of the birthday of the USA.
We're enjoying the 4th of July in Alaska. This is our first year at one of the events, so we're actually enjoying it.
Independence, freedom, diversity, and inclusion are now basic principles for these United States.
The ceremony began from atop the SS Nenana with a warm welcome from both Fairbanks mayors and the military leaders of Fort Wainwright and Eielson Air Force Base. Both Army and Air Force personnel honored Americans far and wide with the proud display and naming of all 50 state flags, followed by a gun salute.
Our family, away from our family in the lower 48, is right here, and so it was a great pleasure to spend it with two of our mayors and a lot of folks from both Wainwright, Eielson, and the community right here.
For myself and the other members of Eielson that were here today supporting the ceremony, we're proud to be here to be able to give some support back to this outstanding community that supports us in every way. It's our pleasure to be here.
I think it was wonderful to see the community get together, being here, listening to the music. It's very positive.
And you know what? A lot of time and dedication has gone into making this country great. And I certainly hope that everybody gets the idea of the importance of the events that we have today.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting from Pioneer Park.
The city of North Pole also held its annual parade and 4th of July festival on Saturday. One of Alaska's founding fathers, Jack Coghill, rode in the parade that celebrates our nation's independence. The float passed out 2,000 copies of the Declaration of Independence to parade goers. North Pole Mayor Bryce Ward also in the spirit, walking the parade dressed as President George Washington. Tammy Wilson's float was named as Mayor's Choice. Santa, as well as the King and Queen of North Pole, honoring the parade theme of Patriots Christmas. It's the town that celebrates Christmas year-round, but according to North Pole VFW President Debbie Watson, it's also a very patriotic city.
North Pole has always embraced the patriotisms of our servicemen and women who have served. Look how they stand behind our servicemen and women at Eielson and Fort Wainwright both. North Pole has always been there for them. They've always been there for us. I couldn't say enough about how North Pole has helped the communities.
Well, cars were lining up along the park's highway for the annual 4th of July Easter Parade on Saturday. It was a lively atmosphere with wild costumes and political signs. The parade passed the judges panel in the village square and then headed down Main Street, Village Road, and onto the old Nenana Highway. It opened with everyone cheering on young bicyclists. Now, several individuals and community groups participated by dressing up and tossing candy at the crowd. As is tradition, the Esther Fire Department came out and Smokey the Bear waved from the truck. After the parade, spectators meandered towards the community park where many barbecued and played games to celebrate the birth of our nation.
All right, that's really great. What'd you do for the 4th?
Oh, I hosted a housewarming in my new house.
Oh, nice. Housewarming and celebrating America. Great way to spend the weekend.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Joe Cook is coming up next with some of the top stories from over the weekend in sports with a weekend recap.
All right, stay tuned after that and more after the break with Joe.
Welcome back into your Alaska. Joe Cook here this Monday evening with the weekend recap. After the Midnight Sun Run and Equinox Marathon, Mount Marathon is one of the marquee running events in the state. Saturday's 88th Mount Marathon drew some international attention this year and records fell. Kilian Jornet from Spain, who is regarded as the best mountain runner in the world, proved that by setting a Mount Marathon record of 41 minutes, 48 seconds. Emily Forsberg, who's actually his girlfriend of Sweden, set a new record by winning the women's record in 47 minutes, 38 seconds. Kenai product Ali Ostrander was second in 50:28. Luke Jaeger won the junior title in 27:39. Matthias Sari, an avid local runner here, placed 9th overall in 45:10. Former UAF cross-country runner Kenneth Brewer finished 11th with a time of 46:13. The Alaska Gold Panthers were clutch in extra innings on Sunday. We haven't been able to say that much this summer, but Alaska, they defeat the Anchorage Glacier Pilots 4-3 in 15 innings in Mulcahy Stadium on Sunday. Spencer Nielsen drove in Rene Martinez for the game-winning run. Steve Simmons got the win in relief for Alaska, tossing 3 scoreless innings, struck out 2. Nate Reynolds led the way with 3 hits and an RBI for Alaska. The win stops a 2-game skid for the Gold Panthers, who are now 9-11 overall and 5-9 in the ABL. They face the Pilots again tonight, and then they travel to Palmer to take on the Matsu Miners on Tuesday night. A state competition went down in North Pole over the weekend at the Polar Ice Arena Raceway, or Polar Roller Raceway. Over 100 racers journeyed to North Pole for the Fairbanks State Motocross Race Series. Saturday and Sunday's race action was the 5th and 6th race in the state series. The local Fairbanks Motorcycle Racing Lions Club hosted this event. There were 16 races with 2 heats or motos. The top dog from the weekend was Cody Woodworth out of Homer. Woodworth came in as a defending state champion in 3 classes and won 3 classes over the weekend. He won the Pro 450 Expert and 250 Expert titles. Woodworth also has experience in the American Motorcycle Association as well. Latham's Kyle Short won the Quad Expert division on Saturday. Then he took the Quad Pro division title on Sunday. Sarah Herron won this year's Women's Open class. And here are some other notable winners. Trey Carlson won the 85 Expert and Superman division. Burt Cracker won the Masters and Veteran Intermediate division. The Senior Veteran class winner was Mike Arno, and Jeremy Riddle came away with the Vet Expert title. The next state race series will be in Anchorage August 8th and 9th. 2 local experienced standout athletes are earning medals for Alaska on a national level. Jane Langford and David Withoff, they still got it. They earned silver medals on Sunday during the National Senior Games in St. Paul, Minnesota. Langford finished a 10K road race in 50 minutes 8 seconds for second place in the 60 to 64 age group. That was the first medal of the games for Alaska. Withoff was 9 seconds off at the top spot in the 100 breaststroke event with a time of 1 minute 19.27 seconds. The National Senior Games end on July 16th. The Alaska International Senior Games start on August 7th right here in Fairbanks. And after just 16 minutes of play, there was no denying that this was the year for Team USA and the FIFA Women's World Cup final. Team USA faced Japan on Sunday in Vancouver for the first rematch in a Women's World Cup final. Carly Lloyd, she scored just 3 minutes into the game and would score 2 more times. Lloyd had a hat trick in the first 16 minutes of the game, and the U.S. led 4-0. They took a 4-1 lead at the half. Japan would make it a 4-2 game with an own goal from the U.S., but Tobin Heath, she scored 2 minutes later to seal it at the 54-minute mark. Team USA wins 5-2, becomes the first country to win 3 World Cups. Team captain Abby Wambach goes back to her post on the sidelines, but she goes out on top. Lloyd led Team USA with 6 goals and an assist and won the FIFA Gold Ball Award. Goalkeeper Hope Solo won the Golden Glove Award for the tournament's top goalie. Lloyd became the first and the fastest player ever to score 3 goals in a World Cup final. Here's an excerpt from the Today Show as she reflects on this team's legendary run.
It just didn't feel real. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because of the fashion, how it was a 5-2 game. It was unbelievable, and something that we all have wanted so long. The heartbreak in 2011, losing to Japan, and then this game. It was just an unbelievable moment, something that we'll cherish for the rest of our lives.
And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is up next with your 4-weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into a Monday night edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz once again talking about weather. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I had a good one, except for the smoke yesterday. But today, oh man, a scorcher today, close to a record high. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Our photograph tonight, this one taken by Ron Plummer, a quiet lake on the Steese Highway somewhere. Makes you want to just toss a line out there with a bobber on it, sit back and just wait for it to go underneath and pull that fish in. And again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Here's your numbers. 88 currently. That is our high for the day. The low last night, 53. The record high, 90 in 1986. We could possibly break that way things go in the evening. Record low, 38 in 1905. Sunrise and sunset, a little more than 21 hours of daylight, a loss of 5 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, not a whole lot going on in our neck of the woods. Quite a bit of moisture over the southwest part of the state. That's working its way into the Anchorage Bowl. They're looking at rain tonight and tomorrow, but it's not going to make it past the Alaska Range for the most part. It looks like maybe some scattered afternoon showers. That's about it. What else is going on across the rest of the state? Over the southeastern sections, very nice weather. 78 degrees at Ketchikan. Lots of sunshine there. Like I said before, it is raining in the Anchorage Bowl area, 77 degrees. 56 at Kodiak. Showers in Cold Bay, cloudy at 51. Up and down the west coast, temperatures warming up very nicely, especially around Nome, 66 degrees there. Barrow at 56, not too bad, and 86 degrees in Fort Yukon. In the lower 48, the hot temperatures continue. Although not as hot as it was last week, 85 degrees in Seattle, still pretty warm there. Not quite 90 degrees at Salt Lake City. Denver cooling off a little bit, more hot temperatures over the desert southwest, but down below 100 degrees in Las Vegas, 93 in Dallas, Minneapolis, lots of sunshine. 73, moving across the Great Lakes, you see 85 in Chicago, up to the New York area, 83 degrees, the nation's capital not quite 90, and then of course muggy and humid over the deep south. On the satellite and radar, a little bit of activity moving across the Great Lakes, and this is a little bit of a frontal boundary moving here, helping to spawn some more showers and thunderstorms. And then just the afternoon showers across much of the desert southwest and the plateau, still clear over the Pacific Northwest. And the heat wave continues over the Northwest. Records challenged today. Highs 15 to 20 degrees above normal for this time of year. So the heat wave is continuing. And the overall outlook is for the jet stream to remain to the north. And when that happens, it means the hot temperatures will continue once again over the Pacific Northwest with very wet and humid conditions down to the south. And to the north of the jet stream, cooler air across the Great Lakes. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow in the northern section. Sunny skies for Barrow, scattered showers for Nome, and sunny skies with some areas of smoke for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, looking at mostly sunny skies across the region with some areas of smoke, and then a few afternoon showers are possible in the Fairbanks and Delta Junction areas. Over southeast Alaska, cloudy at Juneau, but more sunshine likely in Ketchikan. Again, very warm, 80 degrees at Ketchikan. Over the southwest part of the state, looks like periods of rain for Cold Bay, rain and fog for Kodiak, and rain showers for Bethel. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, wet. Rainy periods at Anchorage and Valdez, and showers for Homer. Our forecast for the remainder of the night looks like this. Partly cloudy with light winds and warm temperatures. The overnight low close to 60 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast calling for areas of smoke once again and showers developing by afternoon, close to 75 degrees. And the 5-day outlook calling for temperatures cool down a little bit and then rise back up again over the weekend to the mid 70s, not quite the 90 degrees we had today. And overnight lows will also once again be very comfortable. So a good weekend coming up and maybe some showers on Thursday, and that is about it. But all in all, pretty good and helping the firefighters out there a lot too.
Yes, it's been a great weekend. It was great weather, but it is hot today.
It's very hot, very hot.
Steamy,
yeah.
A little steamy.
A little steamy?
A lot steamy.
It was a fantastic July 4th though.
Absolutely.
Great July 4th.
Absolutely.
A little tired.
Not at all.
No?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, very good. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight at NBC Nightly News, Chicago violence erupted during the 4th of July weekend with 9 people being shot. That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webster11.com.
All right, we're going to leave you tonight with some of the smoke and cloud formations to the northeast of the Fairbanks area today. And from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you enjoy this beautiful night.
Good night.